Pisces, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today with your March 2023 monthly horoscope. These horoscopes are based on whole sign Western astrology. So when I talk about Pisces, I'm talking about Pisces rising. And so when I talk about the houses, this is going to be based on Pisces rising. If you don't know your rising sign, you can go to any one of the free birth calculators on the internet. You just need your exact time of birth and location in order to determine that information. This video is also applicable for Pisces moon and Pisces sun, but will not be, the house structure will not be the same unless you are a Pisces rising and a Pisces moon, or a Pisces rising and a Pisces sun. In that case, you're very Piscean. Also, when I refer to dates and times, those are Pacific time, and please adjust for your location in the world. So let's jump right in, Pisces. This is such an important time for you. Saturn is about to move into your first house. And, you know, initially this may feel a little bit jarring because Saturn is very somber in comparison to Pisces, but yet there is much cooperation between these two energies. You, Pisces, rule ancestral history. You rule the house where the human spends time in meditation, communing with source energy, with God, with the angels. You also represent a deep sense of compassion and empathy. And this is a little bit foreign to the energy of Saturn, as Saturn is a little bit more regimented, wants endurance regardless of human comfort. So here, I believe what we're going to see is a mastering of your spiritual concepts and expression in this lifetime. I think this is going to be a real opportunity for you, but the initial feeling may be a little bit dampening or restrictive. Now, I want to offer this. I did a separate video for Saturn's move into Pisces and Pluto's move into Aquarius. So please check that for more detail and dates that will be important for you during the springtime. So let's jump into March and start with March 3rd. Venus is going to move into, or Venus is in Aries, and she is moving into a conversation with Chiron and Jupiter. We will feel this towards the end of February and all the way through till the full moon on March 7th. So this energy is Venus, for me here, is really kind of having a conversation about my self-worth, about what I believe in about my skills, about my viability, about my ability to make money, doing things I love, using my skills and my voice. Aries is your second house, and Jupiter has been transiting this house for quite some time and will continue to transit it until, let's say, I believe it's May. And this is an opportunity to really rewrite your belief system, sort of give you an opportunity to find the divinity within the disruption. Venus here in this conversation to Chiron is she's talking about the wound she feels. She's talking about wanting to make it work for her. And there's a bit of a feeling of initially the expansion of the wound, the awareness of the wound, and then this sort of energy of being inspired to transform that wound. And this is why I feel like this is an important energy, because on the very same day, March 3rd, Mercury will enter Pisces, your first house, and it will be having a conversation with Saturn, starting probably the beginning of March, around the 1st, and then as it transits into Pisces, it's going to basically blow by Saturn at 29 degrees Aquarius. Aquarius is your 12th house. You naturally rule the 12th house. So this is an opportunity to individualize and to see from a broader perspective any disruptions and how they may have served your thought process. One of the little bit of challenging dynamics with Pisces is being compassionate to the point of enabling somebody to not blossom. You know, it's almost like so much compassion for their sad story that it gives life to the sad story versus giving life to a new story. And here, seeing Mercury entering your first house is going to bring up these thoughts and the thoughts of what historically has gone on for you. And then we can feel Saturn starting to move into your first house. On the 7th of March is when Saturn officially moves into Pisces. It's also the same day as the full moon in Virgo. This is going to make a real illumination for you, because this full moon is, the sun is in your first house at this time, and it's making a sextile to Uranus in Taurus, which is your third house. So I think that this idea of yourself, the first house of Pisces and the third house of Taurus, is somehow coming into some kind of reconciliation about my experience growing up, my early childhood experience with my teammates, my workmates, my classmates, my siblings, my cousins. I believe the third house is where, we come into this world, and we discover ourselves in the first house, we discover our skills and our voice in the second house, and then we take those two things out into the community, into the neighborhood, into environments that are not like my family. They're showing me contrast. So here I think there's going to be a real illumination. I'm also going to do a separate video on this full moon that will be more specific to you, Pisces, and how this will affect you. On the 10th of March, Jupiter is now in an exact conjunction with Chiron in Aries. Again, this is your second house. So this is a further, a 2.0 version conversation where Jupiter is telling Pisces that you can transform that wound into a gift, and it can bring you bounty. It can bring you material resources that you may not have experienced up until now. But part of it is about being brave and allowing this wound to transform versus giving into the wound. On March 13th and throughout the rest of the month, we are going to feel a conversation between Mars and Saturn begin. And it's a trining conversation, so it's a harmonious conversation. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. I've always kind of felt that Mars and Saturn, while they appear to be opposites, as does Saturn and Pisces, there is a synergy between them. I think of Saturn as the master, as the sensei, and I think of Mars as the young hero that is still learning how to use his skills, and sometimes he's a little bit too excited. He wants to rush ahead, and Saturn is here to teach him the wisdom of the slowness, of being strategizing, of paying attention. So we will see this start around March 13th as Mars is ending its 7-month journey in your fourth house of home, Gemini, and making a trine to your first house. This would be technically considered a square, but because of the way it's moving, I believe it's coming more into a trine, because as Mars moves into Cancer, on the 25th of March, it will be in an exact trine on the 29th at Mars at 2 degrees Cancer and Saturn at 2 degrees Pisces. This feels like it's like this 2-week period of time where my mind becomes brave, Mars in Gemini, and Saturn in Pisces becomes more the master of karmic choices here. And Saturn's saying to Mars, I want you to be an intentional, peaceful warrior and learn to use your intuition versus just reacting from gut instinct. On the 16th of March, Venus will enter her rulership of Taurus, which is your third house. So I think this is really good. And by the 30th of the month, she will make an exact conjunction to Uranus, offering you an opportunity to liberate yourself from any areas where your mind has told you you are not enough, where even your conversation may be, I haven't grown enough. I don't know if I know enough. All of these things are starting. I feel like this is an opportunity to start to claim myself in a big way. And I start to trust and allow my unique expression, Uranus, to come forth through my talents and my skills, Venus. On the 19th of March, Mercury will enter Aries, and by the 27th of the month, Mercury and Jupiter will be exact. This is where we see Mercury representing everyday thoughts, Oftentimes we call it the monkey mind. And then Jupiter representing, philosophical thoughts and big, broad thoughts. Here they come together to create balance. This is where we have an opportunity in the Aries energy and the Mercury energy to say, how am I brave enough to individualize my thoughts? Am I brave enough to consider and have discernment within my thoughts? The thing about Pisces is it also rules health in some ways. It rules the rules hospitals, mental hospitals. It rules places where people are stored. We put people in old folks' homes. We put people in orphanages. So there's an opportunity to really, from a brave point of view, look at your thought process and kind of put in balance between, the everyday expectations and then the hopes and the dreams and the bigger philosophies that Jupiter represents. On the 20th, the sun will enter Aries, and the very next day we'll be having a new moon in Aries at the 0 degree. That 0 degree is a critical degree on the world axis. I will do a separate video on that as well. But for the purposes of this video, I want to emphasize that this new moon is very, very powerful because it is at the 0 degree. And we don't often have a new moon at the 0 degree in Aries. So here we have the zodiacal springtime, the new year, the beginning of the astrological year at this critical degree of birthing something new and individualistic. So I think that's super powerful. And then on the 23rd of March, Pluto will tip its toe into your 12th house of Aquarius. And this is going to be just a glimpse of what will go on for the next 20 years, or I shouldn't say what will go on. I should say will give us an idea of our evolution over the next 20 years, because many people will experience their greatest satisfactions in later chapters because technology will start to afford them platforms that they didn't have before. So I think this is really important because Pluto is going to be at the 0 degree Aquarius. We have the new moon at the 0 degree of Aries. We have Saturn entering Pisces. There was something else that was at the 0 degree, but it's slipping my mind right now. But I want to offer it this way because this energy, Pluto takes 248 years to go around the zodiac. So this 0 degree into your 12th house is really going to give you broad and it's going to give you a way of looking at things that feels as if it is, I want to use the word space age and like as if, but that's not quite right. I almost feel like it's like this looking at your life from the stars point of view. Maybe that's the best way to describe it, to look at your life from how the divine sees you. And so this 0 degree that's going to take place on the 23rd of March, we're going to feel it until this 11th of June when the retrograding Pluto goes back into Capricorn. So you're going to get a glimpse of how the universe sees you and how important you are to the universe and how important your sense of self, and you're allowing yourself to be this creative being. Pisces is imaginative. It's musical and it's lyrical and it's whimsical, and it likes photography and filmography and fantasy and likes to dance around with a glass of wine and a good poo-poo platter and dream big dreams. So here Aquarius is going to, that Aquarian energy is going to support that from a karmic point of view, like karmically your soul has evolved into a place where this is now your reward. And I think the biggest challenge will be for Pisces to claim that reward, because in your compassion for others, you inadvertently may defer to them versus you claiming what is rightfully and deservingly yours. And as you claim that, you're going to find yourself much more able to not only be compassionate for others, but to support the vision of their dreams. And you'll probably understand that little bit of a roller coaster ride that at the time can feel nauseating, but once you've been through the ride, you feel this sense of accomplishment and of achievement and of exhilaration. So I think it's a very powerful time. I think March is setting up some dynamics for the rest of 2023 and beyond. So I want to wish you well. I hope you take advantage of Saturn and master your spirituality in the way that, when I say master, I kind of think it is the one who is willing to look into that darkness and seek the wisdom. Divine disruption moves our story forward much more effectively than an easy coasting experience. So, all right, that's it for me, Pisces. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. If you would like to book a reading with me, my information is below. You can reach out to me and I'll send you rates. I don't publish them on the internet. I also would like to invite you to join me Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I do a live stream where we look at the week ahead's transits, and then we get the angels' advice for traversing those transits. So I basically do readings every week. And then if you would like, you can hit that like button, you can hit the notification bell, you can subscribe. That would be so awesome, because I'm going to be producing a lot of fun content and I'm excited about that. So I look forward to seeing you again, Pisces. Have a wonderful March and we'll see you soon. Peace.